Yes, from my side also, I would just like to welcome you. And I'm very happy that you're all here and very grateful that you could make the time. Thank you very much. This also comes from the EULAR side. We are really very appreciative of this. And we think we're going to have a good 2 days together. I hope so. From my side, I will get started with the assessment, with the course system that we have for updating. First of all, I would just like to ask you some questions about your knowledge about the online courses, about EULAR courses in general. So, what do you know about the online courses? How many online courses does EULAR offer? Do you know? Does anybody know? You do? No, 6. It's 6 online courses that we have running. We have a full 2-year online course. We have the CTD course, 16 modules. We have the scleroderma course with 10 modules. We have the health professional course with 8 modules. And we have the pediatrics course with 10 modules and the ultrasound course, which has 7 modules. So, now, in total, how many modules are we working with? How many modules? What do you think? Just guess, make a guess. We have 125 modules. So each module, you have to think, needs an update once a year, has a team of about 3 authors. So that's the number of authors that we actually have. Each module team consists of how many people, do you think? And then how many authors are involved in total? So as I just said, the authors are like, there's a senior author, there is a lead author, there's a junior author, and then we also have the educationalist, Catherine, working on the module input, the webmaster, the administrator, that's me, and then the total of authors only is 350. I think that's a really big number, which you are part of, and thank you again. It's really a great number. So, some figures about the online courses, because now we have increased participants tremendously over the last years, and students from over 100 countries participate in our courses. And for instance, now I don't have the figures for 2016 yet, so 2015 we had over 2,000 students for the full online course alone, the one with the 42 modules. The CTD course had about 200 students, the scleroderma course about 100. The ultrasound course is also quite successful with over 700 students in 2015. The pediatrics course, which was then new, had over 300, and the health professional course 130 students, which is also quite a good number. So nearly 4,000 students in 2015. And again, the impressive number of 350 authors working on the updates. So what is the structure for the online course module? Each module consists of a main review, which includes the learning objectives, then a lot of pictures, summary points, and the key references. It also consists of at least 2 in-depth discussions and also 2 interactive clinical cases. Then at the end we have the 2 sets of assessment questions which we will be working on today and tomorrow. A little bit about the workflow. I think it might be important for you to know how this is all done and what's involved. So the administrator, in this case that's me, I start off with the updating process by planning the individual dates for every module. And I'm also preparing the files to be updated. And then I send that on to the conveners. And the convener has the first viewing, has a look through each file and has some ideas about what's important to be updated. That convener passes on by email that is generated automatically through the updating system, a mail to the authors when the time comes. And that mail includes information on what he thinks or she thinks needs to be updated, but also general information that always needs to be done. So again, the authors will have to work on the main text, the 2 in-depth discussions, the clinical cases, and the sets of assessment questions every time an update is in need. So there's one more function that is done by the senior author. The senior author, which we don't have here today, I think, has a special function. He needs to, or she needs to check the documents after they have been updated and needs to give a final approval. That is one extra thing that the person needs to do. Then the file goes automatically, after the senior has approved, back to the convener. The convener then checks again the whole process and the updated files to see if everything is there. And then he or she will pass that on to the educationalist, Catherine, for her to do the editing or the final check of the files. And that then goes on to the webmaster for online publication so that the students can really start working on it. So that's about the workflow. Now I'd like to just get into that. Yes?
Can you just sum up how long is the process, the whole process? Very important matter between the convener, the author and the educationalist.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Wrong. There. From the time the administrator starts the process to the publication, it is usually 4 months. I plan for 4 months. So the process for the authors will take about 3 months, or they have about 3 months to do. And then what the authors sometimes don't realize, the work is not done. Then it goes on to the convener, the educationalist, and webmaster. So we have like a really tight time span, which is important for you to know. And you will see your deadline, the author's deadline, in the updating tool. And you will know once you're close to that deadline, really we need to start moving on, and the next person is already sometimes waiting to take over. So let's get started. I don't know, how many of you have already entered this platform? Oh, great many of you. Very good. But not all. I know we have some brand new junior authors that have not really started working yet. But this you will receive information with the login and everything. So you go to that page, and an email will be sent to you, and you will know what to do. You enter this and enter your email and the password, and then you can usually enter very well. So the first view, once you have entered, is this. You will have, let's see if on this side, you will have some information on the authors, and you will have here the update start and update deadline. That is important for you to keep in mind. And now what you have to do is double click on somewhere on that field so that the whole page opens. This is only part of the whole view. Now what you will see is you will find a file in Need Attention. That is your file, and sometimes if you are an author for 2 modules, you will have maybe two such modules. But let's say you only have this one to work on. You will see here, Author Update in Progress. That means you are now asked to do some work. Again, here is the deadline. And down here, you have the names of your co-authors. You also have information, the email and sometimes phone numbers where available. And this is Catherine's email, and all the other authors are also listed. So when it comes to the time that you need to make contact with your team, you can use that, and you have 2 possibilities. See, here. You can either choose from that here, email to authors, you have them all. If you choose to send an email to these, then you have them all automatically. Or you, oh, shit, wrong one. Or you go to email to selected, and you can just click to the ones that you want to send an email to. That's quite handy. I find I use that as well. That's quite good. So, okay. Then you have another field here. Some emails are generated automatically. For instance, the author mail that comes to the convener mail that comes to the authors once it's time to start the update. That is generated automatically, and the author will receive it also automatically. And these emails are wrong one. Shit. Okay, there. They are stored here in this field, and it might come in quite handy that you open it and reread sometimes the convener mail, because it has the most useful information on what needs to be updated. You might forget after a while, or also in general the update rules. So you might keep that in mind, email archive, to see them.
Yeah, I intervene there.
Yeah.
Frequently, that's where the convener will ask you to make some certain actions, which is not only updating sometimes. You know, maybe the assessments are not following the rules. Maybe you need to consider some changes. Maybe the students made some comments. So although, let's say, the contents of that email will tell you it's time to update, and maybe you just run fast into that work, please pay a bit of attention to special requirements sent there, because those are, let's say, the weak parts of the module that need most attention. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, and we have another field. This will be the emails that were sent to by the convener. And then we have another button here, the alerts. Alerts are the reminders that you will be getting. So just keep in mind that from after 4 weeks before the deadline, you will be getting reminders, regularly reminders once a week, just to alert you to, you know, that something needs to be done. And yeah, just don't, maybe you want to ignore them. They are generated automatically, so. But don't ignore them in a way that you don't work. So, and that you just mentioned the student ratings. Before you get started on the updates, please check the student ratings. They are here. They should be open for you. When you click on the student ratings, you will find a field and find assessments from the students, which are mandatory for every student to fill in. And it will give you hints on what they liked, what they didn't like, or what they wish to be changed. Sometimes very useful. Okay. So now you get into the business of really updating. Find your individual files. As I said before, these are the files that you have. You can see them on this side. The main text, clinical cases, the in-depth discussions, and assessment questions. They are all stored here. And the next thing you need to do is press on actions. Press on here. And then you get several options. You can open in viewer, which means you open the file. You can just basically see it's there. And you can have an overview of how many pages, just general information. We will not be able to do anything with it, just for you to check whether it's there, but you cannot change it. That comes with another step. If you really want to start working on the files as a Word document, you will need to do a checkout. That's here. So press actions first, and then check out. That means it takes out the file from that online system onto your computer in downloads.
Why don't you call it download?
We don't. Download is something different. It has a different. This is an IT. No, because it's not a download. It's not a download. It is something that is generated. You have it on downloads, and then you need to put it back. I was told from IT that would not. That is not a download.
The whole world is talking about download.
Right, but in a different sense. Yeah, it's
Computer people.
yeah, it's exactly. So, what you have to, what you would need to do if you have gotten that far and gone past the checkout word, so please get used to it. We cannot change it. You press on Save File. No, it doesn't. No, it's not because it costs money. Because it's the wrong expression for what this is doing. A download is something different, and an upload is something different. This is not what the system is about. It doesn't download or upload things. It's used in a different way. So that's what I was told. I'm not an IT expert. Sorry. So you press on Save File, and then OK. And then that is an example of a file that is stored locally on your computer in your Downloads folder. And then you have it as a regular Word file, which means you can use markups, which I would recommend you to do, and keep the markups for Catherine so she has it easier with the corrections or the editing later on, and the convener as well. They can see immediately what has been corrected and adjusted from the last update. So you have done this. And then it shows, the system then shows, if you go back, this shows something. It shows in the hands off, and it would show your name. If you have taken out a file, your name will appear here, and this will block it off. The system has now blocked that particular file, and nobody else can get to it anymore. So another author will have the notification, this person has taken out the file and is working on it. So that's, now the person will have to wait until you put it back into the system.
Why can't you work simultaneously on the file?
We don't want that, because people might do the same changes or different ones.
In normal life you work simultaneously on the document.
Yes, that is not what we wanted. We had the experience,
Why not?
over the last 10 years, we had the experience that people were getting it per email, and they would work, one person would work on something, the other person would work on something or the same, and then it would not come together. It would have been a big mix-up, and we've had it before. So it was the decision that this is the best way to do it. We are now going with this system, sorry.
It was a nightmare, because we couldn't find the correct time.
The last one, we could never find out who had done the last one, and the final one, which was it? Okay, so there you'll see it's blocked and nobody else can get to it until you put back the file. So to put the file back, which is called Checkin, that is also a separate process. You still have it in your download folder, right? In your download folder with the long file name, which is identified by the system. So please do not ever change that file name, otherwise the system will not take the file back. So you press on Checkin, and then you have two possibilities of either pulling back that file or just pressing a few buttons to get it back in. If you choose Select Files, you will open your download folder. That is an example. The systems are a little bit different. You will find that long file name here, and then press it and put it back there. Or you just drag and drop it here. So go to the download folder, pull it onto that field, and it'll automatically upload. Usually that works really well. I don't know, you have to find out how it works on your computer. They're all a little bit different. So once you've done that, you will see the percentage uploaded here. You'll see something is working. And depending on your computer connection, it might take a little while. Normally it's really very quick. And then first of all, you go to Checkin Files, press that button. That is self-explanatory, I think, once you are at that stage. And then you will see this light green field, check-in done. That is the confirmation that the files have been put back into the system doing a check-in. And you will also see, just to check whether everything's gone correctly, in the hands off, the name, your name as author has disappeared, so you know that nothing is checked out anymore, and you will find now the last modified person was this one, and has correctly put it back on the 3rd of June, for instance. So that is one file, and you do that, of course, with every single file. And something to the system terminology again, check out means take file from the system onto your computer for the updates, and check in, put file back from your computer into the system again. Some troubleshooting, if something shouldn't go right or your internet connection isn't stable or something else might happen. In case you are not well connected or the check-in does not work, you can always go back and do an undo checkout. That's what it says there, undo checkout, which puts back the file of the last version. So you are just so you are sure you can go back any time, and the name will then disappear, and you can free that file for other authors to use. This is just in case you have not succeeded doing a proper check-in, and sometimes it might take a while once until your online system works again. So in some cases, you might need to do a refresh. Also, once you've done the check-in, or for whatever reason you want to this name to disappear and you have done all the correct steps, you might just press refresh, and according to whatever computer system you have, this might help you and get you to the correct position again. Right.
Excuse me, Gabriela, is
Yeah.
there a tracking system to look at for one document? What's the order of check-in, check-out? I mean, the junior, then the senior, then the junior, then the senior. Is it possible to have a tracking of this?
Yes, we have a tracking under actions. There is I don't know what it's called now, something with documents, and you can see who has been checking out the files. That is possible, yes. Then we have another possibility. If a convener or an educationalist or a senior author rejects a file for whatever reason, that it's incomplete or something needs to be added or changed, that is called a reject. And then the author would need to go back into the system, would receive an email, of course, from one of these persons, receive an email and telling them, okay, you need to go back to this particular file and do some changes, and then the author would have to go back to need attention, see what is here. The status would be update rejected, which means it's still open, and the person will have the information most likely through the email what needs to be changed. And then proceed as before with another checkout, having the Word file, doing the changes, and doing the check-in again later on. Then there's also the help button, might come in quite useful. We have made 3 tutorial videos which show the system, how the system works, and what the steps you need to be done, that need to be done. And you also have, wait a minute, the authoring tool information, a quick manual if you need it. We also have information on the assessment questions here, and we have the guidelines. So you have been given now also in your little folder the guidelines for your particular course, but they are also here in the system if you want to read up on them. And they are different for every course. So for instance, the scleroderma course has a different guideline. The full online course is different. That would, for you to keep in mind, would be quite useful maybe. Okay, so that was it from my side. I just wanted you to see and how many countries are involved in the courses, and yeah, how widespread it is. And we have especially a lot of people from India who are taking the full online course, which is really quite interesting. So that's it from my side. Thank you very much.